So, over the last couple weeks, we've had a ton of news coming out of Marvel, out of the MCU. The biggest part of that being that Doctor Doom is coming into the MCU fold, being played by Robert Downey Jr. Now, in all of this chaos with Marvel, all of this news, I kind of forgot about, the whole other superhero universe that's being created. The DCU, made by James Gunn, being ran by James Gunn and Peter Safran. And how the DCU is about to launch officially this year with Creature Commandos, and then next year, officially, with Superman. So I wanted to go through and talk about the future of the DCU, the future of DC movies, and talk about what's coming and some stuff that I would like to see come. This will include both movies that take place in the universe and also some of the side films that exist within the DC kind of mythos, but maybe not in James Gunn's universe. So first things first, later this year, October 4th, we'll be getting Joker Filet Ya Do. This is yet again not a DCU movie, sort of say. It's not a James Gunn DCU movie, but it is a continuation of the Joker story from Todd Phillips. This looks amazing, gonna be a big awards contender, and I'm so excited to see this. Hopefully Lady Gaga can get herself an Oscar. I feel like this entire movie was designed just to get her an Oscar, so we'll see if it happens. In December of 2024, we'll be getting Creature Commandos, which is going to be this weird Suicide Squad-esque animated show about this squad of weird creatures. This is the first official DCU project, meaning it will connect the things that happen in the larger universe of James Gunn's new world that he is building. And obviously, because of that, there is a renewed sort of interest in this. Also, James Gunn wrote all the episodes, so because of that alone, I'm more excited than I probably would be. So I'm interested to see what Creature Commandos is going to be. The little teaser we got looked good, and yeah. Also this year, at some point, we'll be getting the Penguin show, which is, of course, a spin-off to the Batman, following the Penguin, who, of course, was a character in that movie. This show looks great. It is not connected to James Gunn's DCU, though. It's its own thing, so because of that, it doesn't really have that much connection to this video, but it looks fantastic. And next year in July, we will be getting Superman, starring David Corenswet, directed by James Gunn, the first official movie in the DCU. This is going to be a brand new take on Superman, the first one since 2013's Man of Steel. It's promising to be a lighter, more comic book accurate version of the character that we haven't really seen in quite some time on the big screen, and I am excited for this one, but still kind of cautiously being optimistic about the idea that this could end up sucking. I hope it's great. I hope it's not Guardians of the Galaxy, but with Superman. I hope instead it is something magical and wonderful and huge. And I have high hopes. The next announced movie with a release date will be Supergirl, which comes out in July of 2026. This will be starring Millie Alcock, who's famous for, of course, her portrayal of Rhaenyra Targaryen in House of the Dragon. She's so good in that show, and I expect her to be great as Supergirl. I also expect to see her in the Superman movie before her own film here. This is going to be adapting the Woman of Tomorrow story, which is a very, very famous story. It is incredibly well written, it's dark, it's brutal, and it's very different from anything we've really seen from the Superman mythos on the big screen. I do fear that this might be coming out a little too, close in tight with the Superman movie. To have two super movies back-to-back, Superman and Supergirl, kind of seems like a weird start for the DCU, but yet again, Supergirl's a great character, and a movie like this adapting this story could really work. Also announced for 2026, October 2nd, The Batman Part 2, yet again, not a part of the DCU, but the sequel to Matt Reeves' The Batman, starring Robert Pattinson. This movie has taken way too long to make. This should have been a 2025 release, but you know what? It's okay, Matt Reeves works slow and we forgive him for that. Everything else on this list, a lot of it has been announced, but we do not have release dates, so I have no idea when this stuff's coming. I'm just going to be giving sort of estimates and my opinion on some stuff that should be happening with these projects. First things first, The Brave and the Bold. This will be the first Batman movie in the DCU and introduce us to that version of Batman that's going to be hanging out with David Corenswet's Superman. Now, this Batman, of course, has a son because Damian Wayne will be the Robin of this universe, meaning this will be a slightly older Batman. We're not getting a year one Batman like we kind of did in the Pattinson movies. Will it be Ben Affleck old? I don't know about that, but either way, this will be our first official kind of Batman and Robin movie since Batman and Robin. Hopefully no Batnips this time. And no Arnold Schwarzenegger. That would be nice too. This will be a really exciting movie. I love the story between Batman and his son Damian Wayne. I love the animated movie that we got a few years ago. I really think that story is something that will be really unique to the character of Batman and help separate from the Pattinson world. The question is, who are going to play both these characters? I have no idea who's going to play Damian Wayne, but I'm just going to put this out there. Batman needs to be Glenn Powell. Let's make that happen. This has to happen. I mean, come on. Also, in about 2027, I think we'll get the film called The Authority. Now, this is supposed to be a big, weird team-up movie that's going to be our version, or the DC's version, of sort of The Boys or Invincible. A brutal kind of anti-hero team-up that's not the Suicide Squad, that's just kind of vicious and brutal and maybe R-rated. The way this movie was pitched in the comic book, which I don't know much about, it just sounded like something that was going to be really, really out there and going for it. It also felt like it was going to be somewhat of a sequel to Superman, in a way. This movie was going to be a response to the events in Superman. We don't know anything else about this movie, who's directing it, when it's coming out, who's involved, who's going to be in the cast, but yet again, this is one that I am somewhat cautiously optimistic about just because the description of what this movie could be sounds fascinating. We also had a Swamp Thing movie announced. This was supposed to be kind of a hard R horror movie coming from James Mangold, who's a very busy man. I mean, he's making this Bob Dylan movie. I think he's got other projects lined up, including a Star Wars film, so who knows when this thing's gonna get made, but a Swamp Thing movie that is really a horror-centric film set in a larger universe could be so cool. I love the character of Swamp Thing. There was a really underrated CW show that came out with Swamp Thing that I really enjoyed, but it seems like nobody watched. But I think this is a character that obviously lends itself well to a horror picture. James Mangold's a fantastic filmmaker when you give him the freedom to make the film that he wants to make, and this could be something special if it ever gets made, because yet again, he has so much lined up, I don't know where this is on his priority list. We also have 2 other shows coming out. First one is Peacemaker Season 2. Now originally we were supposed to be getting an Amanda Waller show, and that was supposed to come first, but we see that Peacemaker Season 2 is currently filming, and I don't think the Amanda Waller show filmed. Unless I'm wrong, if I'm mistaken, let me know down below. But we are getting Peacemaker Season 2 next year, which is going to be somewhat of a continuation of the first season, but also a weird soft reboot that gets it into the DCU. We'll see how that works. And then eventually we'll get the Amanda Waller show. Maybe, unless they've kind of merged Peacemaker Season 2 and Waller. I don't really know, but we're supposed to be getting both. We will also be getting a Booster Gold show. Booster Gold is a great character, and I think we already have a casting. I don't know if they made it official, but Kumail Nanjiani is apparently going to be playing the character. Booster Gold, who is this weird, incredible superhero who, it's more going to be a comic-y, Deadpool-style story told with this character. I've heard a lot about this character. I've never seen too much with the actual character in different comics and stuff like that, but I love the casting. I love the idea around a Booster Gold show. This is one that I'm going to be looking out for. This is the big one for me, Lanterns. This is going to be our first Green Lantern project in a very long time, and one that is a TV show that's going to be designed and sort of structured like a true detective show, starring Jon Stewart and, of course, Hal Jordan's Green Lanterns as they're investigating some kind of murder. That, to me, is a great idea, and as soon as I heard James Gunn say this is going to be True Detective meets Green Lantern, Joe is sold. Let's get this thing made. It's been taking way too long to get a Green Lanterns project made. We also have that show Paradise Lost, which has been announced. That's supposed to be a weird Wonder Woman-esque show. I don't know too much about this. It's just going to be about the Amazonians. We haven't heard any updates on this in years. But yet again, this is apparently coming. There was also announced that we would be getting a continuation of Blue Beetle, but instead of movies, because the movie kind of bombed at the box office, we will instead be getting like a weird animated short series. I don't know if it's going to be a TV series or like a bunch of little shorts, but either way, they are going to be able to conclude and tell that story through short animated things. That's cool because I enjoyed Blue Beetle a little bit, and I'd like to see them finish the story that they were planning to tell. Now I'm going to give you some rumors and wishes. One of the big rumors is that we're getting a Teen Titans movie. Of course, we've had the Titans TV show, we've had Titans animated stuff. We haven't ever had a true Teen Titans movie, and I think with the introduction of Damian Wayne and Brave and the Bold, this is an obvious direction to kind of go in. You can get a good version of Nightwing and just fill out the whole team and have a cool team-up movie. If they can get this out before the Young Avengers, even better, but I don't think they're going to pull that one off, but that would be cool. Another rumor for the Matt Reeves universe, apparently we might be getting a Clayface movie. I've been hearing about this one for a very, very long time, that they're going to do a horror-centric film starring Clayface, but I've also heard other rumors that Clayface might just be the villain in Batman Part 2. So I don't know which one's true. Maybe they're both true. Now here are some wishes and some expectations. First things first, we need to get a Justice League movie at some point, a true Justice League film, after the failure that was Justice League 2017, the success that was the Snyder Cut of Justice League, but we need an official Justice League film, and James Gunn needs to direct it after Superman. 2028, 2029, we need to have a big team-up DC film that kind of brings us back into the fold of these superhero team-up films, at least in the DC universe. I expect we will get one eventually, and I think James Gunn will probably be the one directing it, and it will come sooner than later. And who's filling out that Justice League team? Well, obviously we have a bunch of characters that we know are coming, some that we're not really sure how they're going to be introduced, but there's one character I would love to see a film done with them, and a film done right, because we did get one year ago, and it was not very good. I'm talking about The Flash. The Flash is my favorite character in the universe of superheroes. Legitimately, I used to play Call of Duty, and my name on COD was The Flash. I love the character so much. I love the TV show with Grant Gustin. I hate the movie with Ezra Miller from last year. Let's do a Flash story that's not Flashpoint. That's just a simple kind of coming-of-age story with the Flash. You can make a Spider-Man movie with a speedster. Give me Professor Zoom. Just give me all that jazz and make a really good Flash movie. That is what I want, James Gunn. Just give me the Flash, and like 10 years from now, you could do a Flashpoint film after you've built up to it. Also, give me an Aquaman movie, and because we already had Jason Momoa for like 10 years as Aquaman, give me Aquaman with the beautiful blonde hair. There's so many different people that can play this character. Everybody's been recommending this guy for Batman, but how about Aquaman? Alan Richardson. Alan Richardson, it just looks like Aquaman. I mean, put a trident in that guy's hand. He's Aquaman. I'd also like to see a Batgirl movie. I know we had that one that got canceled a couple years ago because it was apparently a disaster, but a true kind of Killing Joke Batgirl story, right, that kind of is like maybe a revenge tale, that could be something that's really kind of dope. And I hope that we eventually get one, even though the one they tried making was apparently a disaster. That's it. That's pretty much everything that's probably coming from the DCU. Yet again, if Superman bombs, none of this comes. But we'll have to see. Make sure to like this video, subscribe for more. Tell me what you're excited to see down below. I'll see you guys in the next one.